Hey guys, so I'm sorry about this video being low quality, but I've been procrastinating about taking a video explaining my passion project, and it's just not getting done. Plus, the message behind the importance of the Dialectical Discussion Group is just too important to not take on the basis of the video not being perfect, so here it goes. I'd like to start by asking you, the watchers of this video, what are we doing? I mean, seriously, what the hell are we doing? I recently watched a stand-up by Aziz Ansari, and he asked the audience whether or not they had seen this controversial picture of a pizza with pepperonis the shape of a swastika. And after asking one of the audience members who had admitted to seeing that picture and believing that it did in fact look like a swastika where he had seen it, he had admitted that he had made up the whole controversy and it was all a fab. So I'm asking, what the hell are we doing? By using our voices to make revolution trendy, the important concepts are getting lost in all the noise. And it's great that we have a desire to be heard and nurture our interests, but in all this, we get caught up in our ego, defending our positions and why we're more right than somebody else and why our opinions are more valid or justified. And we're forgetting that we're all on the same team here. Whether we are conservative or liberal, the emphasis is that regardless on what side you're on that side because you believe that that's the right side to be on, because you believe that that will do the greatest good. So if that's the intention of the individuals on each side, why don't we unite the forces and attempt to find a middle ground? Why waste efforts against one another when the goals are the same and they're better fought side by side? This is basically what the Dialectical Discussion Group is all about. It's an initiative project that attempts to motivate people to come together to discuss practical avenues of change with a united goal for the greater good. What does this mean? Well, when I was in Tel Aviv, Israel, I visited the Weizmann Institute of Science, which is basically a master's and PhD research facility that strives to make discoveries on the basis of benefiting humanity. And they do this by uniting different scientific fields and making objective observations on the world that are not fueled by financial reasons. In doing so, they have been able to achieve a record-breaking number of scientific discoveries. While I was visiting, I became very inspired by their mission, but I was very surprised to learn that the only scientific faculties that they were limited to were chemistry, biology, physics, computer science, and math. And the two most important faculties that I would think to benefit humanity would be philosophy and psychology, and those did not exist in the Weizmann Institute of Science. As some of you may know, I'm a philosophy and psychology undergrad student at University of Toronto, and so I find these very, very important. But I'd like to highlight one important theory by Immanuel Kant about the transcendental idealism here. So he suggests that our perception of the external world will always be painted by our subjective limits. For example, what our cognitive faculties are capable of understanding of the objective world are going to be limited by the idea that we are human. He attempts to find a middle point between empiricism and rationalism and says that truth and perception is a combination of the both. So he says that truth is an interaction that depends on how the cognitive faculties are understanding the objective world. And so it's unique to each person, but also there's a similarity that is connected to the objective world and how it truly is. He then uses this to go to say that causality then is a test of our freedom. Although we are incapable of getting out of this necessary connection between effect and its cause, we have the freedom of perceiving it any way that we wish and to give it meaning in the way that we would like. with certain limitations. So similar to kind of like the glass half full analogy. You have a glass and it's half full, and that's how it is in the objective world. Now we are capable and we have the freedom of viewing that glass as either half full or half empty, which is a really great power to have. So even though we're humans and we can't grow wings like birds and fly up in the sky, we are capable and have the power to make our life as humans as grand as we would like or as small as we would like. This suggestion by Kant is really inspiring because it puts us back in the power position, which is basically what motivates the Dialectical Discussion Group. It's the idea that we are in the power to make the necessary changes as long as we discuss it. So a dialectical is the act of having a logical argument in hopes that we remember that as people, the end goal is always happiness. So what are we doing? In my opinion, we're being lazy. We are being ignorant, allowing for our ego to take over our rational capacity, like working out. Once you get into a certain routine, you start realizing that your body's always changing, that depending on stress or injury, you're going to overcompensate in a different way every time. And you have to build this self-awareness that allows you to change your workouts depending on how you're overcompensating and making sure that you're working out wholesomely. And I think that this is kind of what society is like. It's about constant change to cater different needs. A society needs to build a resilience towards negative change by creating a positive system of redirecting. I hope that people understand that the Dialectical Discussion Group is a start to something bigger. A movement that kicks us off our butts and puts us back in the power position, because that's where we are. We're in the power to even take back our democracy and make it truly representative of what it is that we want in our country. And in my opinion, it all starts with a little conversation. Every 3 weeks, the Dialectical Discussion Group comes together and we discuss different aspects of society and how to better it. So next time, come so we can make this initiative a reality.